You do what everybody else does. I don't care if it's J.P. Morgan or Irving the Tailor. You write it out.
Vic Vega's outside.
Hold on. Oh.
Vic Vega.
Oh, tell him to come in. I gotta go.
Come on in.
A friend of mine's outside.
Oh, yeah. This is Boston, not L.A.
Boston, not LA! This is Boston, not LA! This is Boston, not LA! This is Boston, fuck LA!
Welcome back, everybody. The tonepriest has got himself a new toy. Got ourselves a beautiful Vega. Can you read that? Can you read upside down? Vega Director, Fidelity Amplifier. Boston, Massachusetts company. Look at that. Oxblood chicken head tone knobs. Any day you can use that in a sentence is a good day, in my opinion. Model number A60. Here should be. It's in pretty decent shape. It's pretty. Pretty indeed. Let's flip her around. Here's what her backside looks like. Get a little shot of it. Uh-oh! Aw, yeah. Alright, let's get this back door off and see what makes her tick.
Hello! Yes! Yeah, no, I'm just getting a skinny cappuccino latte! Molto grando! Yeah! Yes, great! Yeah, ciao!
Alright, we're back. Sorry for the interruption. Where were we? We were looking at this beautiful Vega Director. Boston, Massachusetts. That's what I'm talking about. This is definitely not Fullerton, California.
Not LA!
I think Maynard James Keenan had the right idea, and if California were to like crack off from the edge of the United States and sink into the Pacific, I don't know that I'd shed too many tears. Not that the politicians we have around here are much better. I mean, even Chief Big Bong herself can't even get her husband to have a beer with her.
I'm glad for everybody who's joining this video. It's great to hear from you. Hold on a sec. I'm gonna get me a beer. Hey, Glover, my husband Bruce is now in here. You want a beer?
No, I'll pass on the beer.
How great is that? Anyway, it's neither here nor there. Yep, comes like all good vintage amplifiers, comes complete with white paint on it. See what we can do about that. We got a little bit of peelage, and we have a slight bit of a cave-in over here. The cosmetic stuff will probably not be addressed until the springtime, because that usually involves a lot of outdoor work. And up here in the New England, greater New England area, it's like cold and snowy and just miserable. That's I guess the one good thing about California. They don't have all that kind of. Anyway, yeah, chicken head knobs, 3 inputs. Oh yeah, so it has 3 inputs. The first 2 are controlled by this volume knob here. The third input is controlled by this volume knob here. And good times, you can plug your guitar into here, and then send a jumper from here to here, and oh yeah, the fun begins. And then we got the tone knob. Which is also the on-off switch. Turn it on, get tone. And what's cool is, as you will see when we take the back door off, this has a 12-inch and an 8-inch speaker. The 8-inch speaker has a capacitor, which is a high-pass capacitor. And so as you dial up more high-end on your tone knob, that really wakes up that 8-inch speaker. And it's cool. Cool thing. Very neat. We got a nice crimson indicator gem. And it's not faceted, it's nice and smooth. It's smooth. and our fuse. Oh, I didn't check the fuse yet. Probably should have done that before I played it. But we'll get in there. We'll check the fuse, make sure we're not putting our vintage iron in any danger. But what else we got here? It's got a bunch of these finial top finish screws. Is that what those are called? Whatever. It's got the neat little pattern there. Handle's probably going to be replaced because it's looking a little rough. And if these are rivets, I ordered some simulated or similar looking finish screws with a fancy top, and instead of just, you know, using shitty Phillips head screws or whatever, we'll try and make that look as nice as possible. Give it that authentic vintage look. But alright, enough dicking around. Let's pop this back door off and see what we got. Alright, we got the back door off of our beautiful Vega A60 Director. And immediately we can see we have a couple of Quam Alnico speakers. Nice 12-inch and a nice 8-inch. I've been told that size doesn't matter, but you know, the debate's still out on that. And oh yeah, got a couple of RCA 6 V6s. We'll have to check the dates on those to see if they were the original ones. 70 RCA electron tubes.
And he uses genuine RCA tubes.
That's what it's all about right there. And then we have our 5Y3, made by General Electric, who bring good things to life, as we know. We'll check the date codes on that. Does anyone know what that date code means? 57? That sounds legit, actually. Because if we look at the codes on the speakers, if we can focus, 270s Quam, 52nd week of 56. Wow, it's a Christmas amp. New Year's Eve amp. Then 16th week of 57. So yeah, this is probably a 57. And then if we look at this guy here, if you'll focus, 22nd week of 57. That appears to be original. 13th week of 57. And 5713. Very nice. And we got a couple of Sovtech 12AX7s, so those will be great. And some other amplifier. Big old can cap. 58. Is that what that means? 470 Sprague 58. The year? I don't know. Maybe it's a 58. Maybe it's been replaced. Who knows? One of life's mysteries. And you can see up there, we got a couple of capacitors. I believe those are the for the high pass, low pass, maybe. Sending high and low to the separate speakers. Don't know. There is no schematic for this amplifier, my friends. We are flying commando. Can't see. And then the cabinet is basically made out of pressed cardboard, which you know, is what it is. It's not the most rugged, robust thing in the world, but it is very light. And unfortunately, we got, you know, this little cave in here, so I'm thinking maybe we can do a little bit of hot steam, and then very gently coerce that back into flatness, flat, parallel, perpendicularness, when we address the cosmetic issues. But to be seen. But you know, it's not going to be the most robust amp in the world, but it is relatively light, which is nice. So there's that, and it sounds good anyway. You know, a nice birch cabinet, you know, is definitely going to be a nicer piece of furniture. But you know, even garbage pressed, you know, particle board has its own particular sound, tone-wise, and you know, that's completely subjective. And played this amp a little bit. Oh yeah, and I think it sounds fantastic. You know, it's got this really nice, rich bass to it. Doesn't have a ton of bass where it's going to be like rocking the chandeliers, but just a really nice, warm tone. And yeah, it is what it is, and I like it. So maybe you'll like it too. But we're a little bit away from finding out. So all right, let's get this chassis out and see what makes her tick. All right, while I'm thinking about it, before I forget, the Vega company is a very old company. I think they started in like the 20s or 30s making instruments. And I believe it was started or founded by a Swedish gentleman. Because we're just tripping over Swedes up here in the New England area. But I believe this amplifier, at least in part, was made by Valco, which we all know and love. And Valco being having one of their main facilities in Chicago, these Qualm speakers, which is also a Chicago company, that lends credence to that. So this may be a Valco in disguise. And yeah, we all love Valco in disguise amps around here. But so there's that. Maybe I'll throw some links in the thing where you can read the shit that I read, if you're interested. But yeah, it should be up all the way. All right, moving on. All right, we got the chassis down for the cabinet, and you know, this thing already has a 3 conductor power cord, so that's the first indication that there's been some fuckery going on with this thing.
To the fucking.
Yes, to the fucking.
This does not look like factory soldering. This blue wire looks not factory standard, so yeah, it should be interesting to see what we find. Here's those capacitors for the bypassing, high passing, low passing. Not sure what we're passing just yet, to the 2 different sized Alnico speakers. How cool is that? That is no joke right there. Good stuff. Just not in focus. All right, we got the chassis pulled, and we've spotted our first little bit of misinformation. They're not 12AX7s, they're 12AY7s. So you know we can have some fun there. 6v6s, 5Y3. What the fuck is that thing? I wonder if that's to set your voltage on your power transformer. Interesting. We got this guy here. I do not know what, was it A670? Tranco, maybe? But it looks like January of 1957. And then the output transformer here, March of 57. So, yeah, cool stuff. And let's very gently put that like that. And, yeah, lighting's kind of shit.
Aziz, light!
But, we can kind of get the, let's get, there we go. The original-ish color of the top. Nice gold color. We got a little bit of fadage there. Has since turned silver. But we'll do a little bit of cleaning here. But, alright, let's get this cover off and see what's going on the inside. Alright, we got the lid off of the amplifier chassis here. And we're starting to see the first bits of fuckery. We got the new 3 conductor power cord. Tied it in a knot around the indicator lamp. That will not do. Electrical tape around the connections. That will not do. Let's see what else is going on here. Alright, we have a grounded jack. That's good. Was getting some intermittent connections on the first input jack, so we'll clean that up or replace it as needed. But other than that, that looks original. Or does it? That resistor right there looks very clean and shiny compared to those guys, so that was probably changed. And yeah, the adventure continues. But these are nice big beefy wires. Look at that. Are they original? Who knows? Probably. Oh, they're shielded, I believe. Are they? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe they're just double layer insulation protection. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Get those suckers right there, huh? Interesting, interesting. Ooh, oh my god. That looks like some capacitors that the friggin' Egyptians used while they were building the pyramids. Oh lord. Alright, well, we got our work cut out for ourselves. Alright, let's look at the main part here. Hang tight. Alright, here we go. Here's the Goodyear blimp view of the soul of this amplifier. And yeah, there was definitely some fuckery going on in here. This appears to be cathode biased output. It looks to be our bias resistor and bypass capacitor. Gonna go out on a limb and say that that's been replaced. We've got a big old filter cap. That's been replaced, obviously. What did they select? Can't read. All right, guys. Seriously, 47 micro. So that's probably okay. That's probably double what was originally in there, but that's probably fine. Again, we got some more the Mummy's Curse capacitors that probably should have been replaced when they put that big orange one in there and that brown one, those two brown ones, but they did not. That's probably original. What the hell does that code mean? White stripe with two white stripes with orange stripes? Who knows? But appears to be pretty fairly simple circuit. I did read that the preamp tubes were not cathode biased, but were grid biased. I have no idea how that works, but we're gonna find out. Yeah, some of this stuff is looking pretty crusty. So I think I'm just gonna have to draw out a schematic because it appears that. Well, no, we'll take a look at. I don't know what I'm gonna do. We'll just do what we do. Try and make it as good as we can get it. But tonepriest is going to take a look at this and come up with a plan. And then he's going to consult with Stan. And then he'll be the man. So hang tight for that. You don't want to miss it. Okay, yeah. These big fat green cables are all shielded, which is really nice. You can see the shielding is grounded there on one end, but not grounded on the other end, which is how you're supposed to do it. And so yeah, that's cool. Good stuff. Probably why it's really quiet. It's a very quiet amp. Alright, moving on. So we're looking at this power transformer here. Let me flip you over, hold on. Where is Mr. Pointer? Oh no, what are we going to do? I lost Mr. Pointer. Mr. Pointer. Alright, we'll use a pencil. So we have our leads that go to the plug. And what else do we have here? Alright, we got the red and the yellow that go to our rectifier. Looks like we got the center tap here. Looks like we don't have a center tap for the heaters. So there's probably a couple 100 ohm resistors somewhere. We'll have to trace this out and find those somewhere, I imagine. Oh my lord, what is this? That is not good. What is going on here? Yeesh. Yikes. So that's why that is problematic should be obvious. The hot solder blobbing onto a wire, which could melt the insulation, and then it's touching the metal chassis. And this is your, yeah, you don't want to send 6.3 volts straight to ground. That'll start a small bonfire for sure. Wonder if these are the resistors, virtual center tap resistors for the heaters, but we'll have to inspect that. Yeah, I might have to draw this out. I really don't want to because I'm fucking lazy. Alright, and this is why no amp tech likes to work on an amplifier that's already been worked on before. This giant blob of solder was just floating around in the chassis. You know, you move your amp around to go to a gig or whatever, and this thing floats around, and, you know, let's say it just, you know, landed here, or, you know, bridged your plate and your cathodes of your tube. Yeah, you get yourself a nice little fire.
Forgive me, Parson. I've committed arson.
Gonna burn down the venue. Alright, some more of the new work here. Looking at the your equipment grounding conductor, the green wire there, the third prong in your 3-prong cord here, and they just soldered that into the one of the grounding lugs on the tube base, and I don't believe that's legit. I believe if you want it to be totally legit, that should have its own separate dedicated it should be connected to the chassis with its own dedicated separate thing. I guess even going, adding like a little terminal thingy to the one of the transformer bolts there is not even legit. They just want their own separate thing directly mounted to the chassis. But I'm probably just going to be lazy and put a one of those little terminal connector thingies to one of the bolts for the transformer and call it a day, but it'll certainly be much better than that. That no good. And then this thing over here, that mystery tube with the jumper on the other side, looks like they used a tube base, and then they have some kind of little socket thingy with a jumper in it, and I think they're just using that for, making connections. Basically, there's a terminal strip, which is odd, because these guys right here were an option. I wonder if this was a multi-purpose chassis. And looks like an octal base. I can't imagine what else, what other amplifier, different model would need that, because you got your 5Y3, you got your 2 output tubes, unless they were using an octal preamp tube. But why wouldn't that be all the way over here? I don't know. That is a mystery, and it is factory because it's riveted in, and it's the same kind of base as these other ones. The rectifier tube socket and that look the same, so I don't know, kind of neat. I haven't seen that before. There's nothing that's jumping out at me at this that's screams Valco, but there's nothing that isn't either. I mean, it's an old school late 50s point-to-point wired amp, so could be anything. Could be anything. Well, whatever it was, it's a little bit different than it is now. Had a little bit of reassignment surgery, but I'm going to put it back to normal, hopefully, or as normal as we think we can get it. Again, I'm going to do a little more digging and see if I can't find a schematic, but I would not put any poker chips on me being successful with that. But it works, so even if we just replace the components that need to be replaced, it'll work even a little bit better. So moving on. This is a grid-biased preamp tube, and it's hard to see here, but the pins for the cathodes are going straight to ground. So yes, indeed, we have ourselves a grid-biased preamp tube here. What that exactly means, I'm not sure. I need to do some more research on that, but it does work. And I guess that's how they did things back in the old school days, when they were taking their wagons out to the Oregon Trail.
The best way to handle this is to leave the weakest link behind. So all we got to do is figure out which one of you brings the least to the table.
Are you out of your mind? You can't put a value on human life.
Sure you can. I'm a 10, you're a 6.
We just have to work together. Look, if each one of us sacrifices something small and personal, we can cut the weight that way.
Yeah, like anybody's gonna go for that.
They will, because they are not heartless monsters like you. What about the piano? Surely we can do without Martha's piano.
What? And no tunes for the road?
But very neat, very interesting. And I also noticed, if we look at the can cap here, something was unsoldered from this terminal here, which I believe this is what the replacement is for whatever was connected over here. And I'm not exactly sure why they did that, because that is measuring, decent. So I don't know why they fixed a part that wasn't broken. But, this is what happens. Alright, let's see what else we can find. Alright, so we're doing a little digging here, and this is the article I had mentioned earlier about our Vega Director Model A60. There she is, a little bit different logo there. Is that legit? That looks sketchy to me. But yeah, there we go. Here's a picture of it, and I don't think that Jensen is original to this particular amplifier on the screen here. Because if we look at the date code, looks like a 69, sixth week of 1969. And this guy here is 1967. So I doubt this thing was, kicking around for 2 years before they finally put a 12-inch speaker into it. And if we can see date code on here, can't read that well, but it has a 7 in it, so there you go. So I believe I shouldn't have a Jensen, should have 2 qualms. And then, where are we at here? Yep, that all looks legit. Yeah, see? That's what I'm talking about. You get the replaced screws right there. Nobody wants that. You want those nice looking finial top screws. So mine will be better. And then, what else? Oh, jeez, where'd it go? Where'd it go? There it is. Let's see here. This tube appears to be grid leak biased, a technique most guitar amp makers had abandoned in the early 50s in favor of cathode biasing. So there you go. Cool stuff. And, what else have we got? Oh, yeah, this guy's saying it's got 7025, which is a 12AX7. So 2 12AX7s, two 6v6s, and a 5Y3. And we know from the, what was stamped on, I'm not going to mess with that now, what was stamped on the chassis, would we have 2 12AY7s? So, am I not the only one that spreads misinformation? Who knows? What they did mention is that the schematic is very similar to a Harmony H204. So we're going to print this schematic out and see how close it is. I can see right off the bat this is a little bit different than what we have installed in my amplifier here. The can capacitor has 4 sections at 10 micros each. But yeah, we'll take a look at this and yeah, if this is close, if this is the same thing or close enough, that will be a big help. So let's do that. Just saw another thing real quick on the schematic. The plate voltage on these 6v6s is at a nice modest 322 volts. You know what that means. Black tubes, baby. Once you go black, you never go back. You know what I'm saying?
Aye, know what I mean, nudge, know what I mean, say no more.
Because the original 6v6, plain Jane 6v6, no letters after it. I believe their max rating is 350 volts, according to the RCA receiving tube manual, which would free up these beautiful vintage RCA 6v6 GTs for something else. Good times. Love it. This just keeps getting better. Oh, Lord.
What the fuck is that, bro?
Yeah. This is Beverly Hills 9H2O, and inside here is the most expensive bottled water from America. So let's see.
Why do you gotta have this?
Whoa.
Damn, that's dope.
This whole experience cost $100,000. Because you cannot buy this, kind of like, or actually, it's just been made 9 times in this world. And this whole experience is the Ultra Diamond Luxury Collection of Beverly Hills 9H2O. It comes with 4 Baccarat glasses. Yes.
What are you paying $100,000 for, brother?
Do you see this?
RCA.
Yikes. I did already order one RCA 12AX7 based on the information from that article. But, oh God. You know, this will not do.
Yes.
This will not do at all. Who knew AY7s were more expensive than AX7s? Alright, so we're trying to figure out the inner mysteries of this amplifier. And as discussed before, I believe, This is a 4-section can cap. This section looks like it was used originally, but was replaced with this 47 microfarad capacitor at some point in its history. And that'll be in this place right here. So, you know, the one going to your center tap. 335 to 335. So that goes to the center tap of your output transformer. I measured some voltage. I got her hooked up, well, I had her hooked up to the current limiter, giving her 117 volts, and I was getting 430 volts going to the center tap. So it is what it is. That's the transformer we have. It's original. It's got a 5Y3 in there, so it is what it is. So I guess that ends the discussion on using black tubes. But that's a difference from the Harmony, what the Harmony schematic is calling for. I checked a lot of the preamp stuff, and it looks like a lot of it is the same. There are some differences, I believe, in the amplifier. These are 0.0. Oh, I haven't seen those yet. But there are a few little differences. Yeah, right here. These 0.02s are actually 0.01s. That, those red guys right there. So there's that. But we have significantly higher voltages going through here. And again, that, no, we won't worry about that guy now. But this dropping resistor 5 watt 1K. In here they're looking for a 2 watt, but 12K. And not giving us a voltage there, but they have these guys in parallel to get 243, but we got 427 there. But I don't know, that's just making me a little scared. Why did they disconnect that? I don't know, something just doesn't seem right there with that being disconnected. And plus, when I put my meter on that, it was measuring like 80 volts DC, and there is nothing connected to it. So that all seems sketchy. So what I think I'm going to do, I found this guy in the pile here. I'll get some light on him. We have 4 sections of 20 microfarads each at 475. I think if we can get this guy to fit in the bracket, this would be a good replacement for him, because that's a little excessive. And the rest of this crap here. But you know, I'm thinking I'm not sure what I'm thinking. Well, we'll take it from there. See if we can get this guy to fit. We'll get this big blue beast out of there, put him in something else somewhere down the line, and gonna do a little bit more tracing to see the differences, because there does seem to be some extra parts in here that are not on the Harmony, and we'll try and figure out if those were extra parts from the factory or if they were added later, and we'll do our best to get her back to factory fresh condition. So yeah, there you go. Oh yeah, I forgot. There's the little drawing of the 4 sections of that can capacitor, and there are the DC voltage readings. We're getting 429, 362, 319.5, and then 87, even though there's nothing connected there. A little bit odd, but yeah, see if we can't put this guy in there and sort it all out. And one other thing, this is why shit like this could be super dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. I'm not saying that I do know what I'm doing, but had this chassis fired up, and if we check the DC voltage on it, now that it's powered down, we still have 130 volts on there. So we need to discharge that. And if it wasn't dangerous enough, I'm doing it one-handed, holding a friggin' camera. So here's our, God, I need more space. Here's our discharge tool. It's just a wire with an alligator clip on one end. You're going to clip that to a metal part of your chassis. Then on the other end, we got a 5 watt 470 ohm resistor. And that resistor is there to slow down the current flow, or from instead of just discharging your capacitor all at once, creating a humongous spark and arc that will scare the shit out of you. This will slowly discharge the, it'll slow down the rate of discharge. and shut off the light. So, connect it to the chassis to get a good ground. Take this end, touch the positive lead of your filter capacitor, and bear in mind your negative bias capacitors will be wired in reverse. So touch that for a few seconds. You can hear the electrons pouring out. And now let's see what we got. 2.5 volts. And it will boost up again. It takes a little bit of a deep breath and then charges up a little bit more. So usually what I do is go and hit all the capacitors and then go back and do them again. And before you stick your hands in there, proper safe technique would be to measure what kind of voltage is still left inside your capacitors. Don't just take it for granted, because if you have a bad ground, or you know, didn't discharge enough, or you thought you were touching the lead but you really didn't, and you stick your finger in there, you're wearing your wedding band, you know, made of stainless steel, yeah, that could get fused to you permanently. You know, God forbid that should happen. So we'll test her again, and a couple volts, ain't gonna hurt no one. Sure as hell ain't gonna hurt me. So there you go, safety tip of the day. Safety third. Alright, what in the hell? This is some serious fuckery right here. So, look at this thing. What the hell is that? It's like a leaf spring, or a shock absorber spring. A strut oleo. So, they got this, this is obviously not factory, this 0.1 micro, going to pin 1 of preamp tube here. So that's V2. That's going to be this guy right here. Yeah, this is just breaking my brain. So, it's going from pin 2 to pin 8. Yeah, this is confusing the shit out of me. So, we got that capacitor connected to the grid of this preamp tube, and then it's tied in to the cathode on the other side, the other triode. Not sure what that's supposed to do. So there's that. So we should be coming out of the plate of this tube and going over to the tone knob. But coming out of pin 2, right here, if you can see that, and we're going into the sweeper of the tone knob. That don't make any sense. This is bizarre. But, I mean, it was working. Yeah, I don't know. I'm at a conundrum here. Do I just leave it the way it is because it works? Or, I mean, it works, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We'll have to get back to that. We've got plenty of work to do over here before we get over here. So, I think I'm just going to start fixing the crap that we know needs to be fixed, like the mummy fingers over here. And the, replacing the can capacitor and some of these, crusty old resistors, and then, we'll just take it from there. But, yeah, fun stuff. Alrighty, folks, looks like we're screeching towards the end of this, chapter of this video here, or the end of the chapter of this amplifier here, and this will be the end of the video. This guy here is just too wide to fit in that bracket right here. I could remove that and replace the bracket or adjust it to make it fit, but you know, we're working on a Tweed era amp, very special and unique one. We don't want to drill holes if we don't have to. And I guess technically we don't have to. And so we're going to order some parts to replace this guy here. But looks like we only need 3 sections. We don't need 4 sections. It looks like, at least according to this schematic, Oh, hold on. Maybe we do. Okay, cancel that. There's so much weird stuff going on in this amp. I'm just third guessing myself at every step here. But we only need 3 sections coming off the power supply. So we got the main high voltage going to your center tap of your output transformer. And then we need this guy here to go to the screens of your output tubes, and then your the final section will go to your plates. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay. No, we're right. 243. Yeah. So the 243 goes to the plates of your power tubes and your second stage of your preamp, and then the 138 will be going over to first stage of your preamp. Glad we got to the bottom of that. So we had a couple of options here. We could option number 1 is to get this F&T capacitor, and you know, $10 will give us 2 sections, and then we'll we could throw in another replace this guy with another standalone electrolytic, call it a day. But you know, again, Tweed era amplifier, this thing's like, I don't know how old it is, like 102 years old. We want to kind of keep it looking original, and yeah, that doesn't look original. So the second option is to get this guy here, and that'll have 4 sections in case I messed up and we actually do need all 4 sections. But that's the problem with that. Yeah, I think we're going to go with option B. I think this amp deserves it. Well, it's a Boston company. Of course it deserves it. But yeah, another weird thing was they had 2 sections tied together. Not sure why they did that. Because you definitely don't need the, even especially on the harmony schematic, the voltages are so low. I mean, I don't know. It's just a mystery wrapped in an enigma, wrapped in an enema. So here we go. I'll order up these parts. Hopefully they'll get here quick, because we got some nice holidays coming up. We'll have plenty of time to put it all back together and wail away. Oh, this thing sounds amazing. Our beautiful Vega
Mr. Blonde,
A60 Director.
Mr. Brown,
So stay tuned for that. I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed making it.
Mr. Pink.
Why am I Mr. Pink?
Because you're a
And we'll see you next time.
Done!